via satellite from Hollywood and Nashville. It's Rockline, the show where you interview the hottest stars in rock and roll. Hello again, I'm Bob Coburn. Rockline is brought to you in part by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Tonight, Rockline is an evening with David Coverdale of Whitesnake. David is in our Nashville Rockline studio, where he's being welcomed by our friends at 103 KDF. I'm here in our Hollywood Rockline studio. So get your questions ready and call us toll-free in the U.S. and Canada. 1-800-344-ROCK. That's one number toll-free from anywhere in North America. 1-800-344-7625. For years, Whitesnake has been one of the most popular bands around England and Europe, without a doubt. And North America finally caught up last year. Their self-titled album is one of the biggest success stories in the whole history of rock and roll. And, of course, Whitesnake is David Coverdale. And, David, welcome back to Rockline.
It's a pleasure to be with you, Bob.
Nice to have you again. Enjoyed Nashville. And first thing I want to ask you this evening, you obviously would have hoped for a lot of success with this album, but this has to be beyond your wildest dreams, what's happened.
Indeed, there's no sort of grand plan there. I mean, this is remarkable. The fact that we can touch so many people, and still are, is a wonderful thing. And
you're closing in on what, about 8 million records sold?
Yes.
That's just incredible, David. Congratulations.
Nothing's going to stop the snake. We were down in Nashville practicing country and Whitesnake music, so who knows what tomorrow will bring.
Now, David, who is currently in the stage band? Is it still the United Nations lineup that you put together?
Yes, without a doubt, and we're doing everything we can to keep this together. It's just too much fun to interrupt.
Now, go ahead.
No, it's the very, very fine people and wonderful musicians, and the crowds are loving them. There's no reason, that hasn't even occurred to me to have any changes.
Now, how long have you been on the road? You've been on the road, what, 6, 7 months now? 8,
no,
maybe?
About 89 years.
89 years, and counting, yeah.
No, we actually started, the first show was June the 20th of the Texas Jam last year, and we're working through the United States until the first week, I believe, of June this year. So it'll be precisely a year we'll be working before taking our goods to the Far East.
I have some tour dates that I'll pass on momentarily. Right now, some music by Whitesnake. This is Here I Go Again on Rockline. Again from Whitesnake, from the album Whitesnake. I'm Bob Coburn. We're with David Coverdale this evening for the entire program, and our first call for David is Kathy from Vancouver, a listener of CFOX FM 99. Good evening, Kathy.
Hi.
Hello, Kathy.
Hi, I have 2 questions for you tonight. First,
okay, my dear.
First, I'd like to know why you decided to record the Whitesnake album at Little Mountain Sound.
Because it's an excellent studio. It's a great studio. Not only did the Whitesnake album have such wonderful success coming out of there, but also the Bon Jovi album, Slippery When Wet, and Aerosmith. It's a great studio and a very fine people there.
Great people, definitely. And what else, Kathy?
And I was wondering if you have any plans to record your next album there.
Oh, really? It's entirely possible, but we want to start work in the late fall of this year on the album, and it might be just a little cold. Incidentally, Vancouver's a great rock and roll town. It's a very inspiring town to make music in.
And CFOX is a great radio station. And Kathy, thanks for starting us off. We'll take a time out and return in just one moment. We have just gotten started on an evening with David Coverdale from Whitesnake on Rockline. Your number is toll-free from anywhere in North America. 1-800-344-ROCK.
Coverdale of Whitesnake, WTUE, Rocks Dayton.
And welcome back to Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. We're with David Coverdale of Whitesnake. David is in Nashville this evening. He has a concert date there tomorrow, then the 9th in Huntsville, Tennessee, on the 10th in Starkville, Mississippi, where Mississippi State is located. Also Knoxville, Tennessee on the 12th and the 13th in Chattanooga. Back to the phones we go as we talk to Andy. She is in Asheville, North Carolina, listening to 95.7 The Rock out of Charlotte Hickory. Andy, you're on.
Hi.
Hello, Andy. How are you?
Fine. I'm fine. How are you?
Bearing up under the strains of Nashville. It's a lot of fun.
Great. Listen, I saw you guys last week in Charlotte, and you were awesome. I really loved your show.
You guys were pretty good yourselves.
Thank you. Thank you. We tried. We really did. It was great. I was wondering, on your next album, are you going to keep the original band members?
I hope so, yes. The answer is yes, affirmative.
There you go. What about a next album? Any plans? You mentioned earlier, maybe sometime in the fall. Do you have any definite dates on when you might go back in?
Yeah, well, there's such a passionate feeling within the band. We don't want to spend like 2 years or whatever. The hiatus, if you remember, Bob, related to this current album was just too long.
3 years almost, yeah.
Yes, and this time I think with God smiling on us on a daily basis, I think probably what we can do is get an album out for the end of March, April '89, and then start the whole circus all over again.
There you go, Andy. Thank you for your call, and I'm glad you enjoyed him in concert. And we're going to talk with Michelle now in Minneapolis, a listener of 92 KQRS. Good evening, Michelle.
Hi, Bob. Hi, David.
Hello, Michelle. How are you doing?
Hi.
Fine, thanks.
What can we do for you?
Excuse me?
What can we do for you?
I'd like to know, what is the most valuable lesson the music business has taught you?
Don't sleep with your eyes closed. And make sure you wear condoms. I don't know. I don't know. You just have to be really careful. You have to keep your eyes and your ears open. There's stuff to learn every day, and keep your eyes open because there's somebody who's ready to empty one of your pockets sooner or later. Other than that, it's a wonderful vehicle to be involved in. It's a great feeling for expression.
Michelle, thanks for calling. We appreciate it. Let's move on to Miami and talk with Bill. He is listening to 97 GTR. Bill, meet David.
How you doing, David?
Hello, Bill.
What's up?
What's up? I don't know at the moment. How are you doing yourself?
All right. I just wanted to say I'm really looking forward to seeing you the 25th of this month at the Sportatorium here.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We already had a couple of shows in Florida. It was cool. A lot of fun.
Okay, my question is, where did you film the video for Give Me All Your Love?
Give Me All Your Love was filmed in Worcester, in Massachusetts.
Is that it for you tonight, Bill?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, thanks for calling.
Thank you, Bill.
Not only a date on the 25th in Miami, but also on the 23rd in Daytona Beach, the 24th in Tampa, and the 26th in Fort Myers, Florida. Right now, we're going to play another song by Whitesnake. This is a remix of the forthcoming single. It's called Give Me All Your Love. Give Me All Your Love by Whitesnake, the forthcoming single from the band. You're listening to Rockline. It's an evening with David Coverdale. We go back to the telephone to Ottawa this time. We're going to talk to Gary, a listener of Shea 106. Gary, you're on the Rockline.
Hi, Dave.
Hello, Gary.
I just like to ask, okay, you've been popular over in Europe and Japan for quite some time before the Whitesnake album shot you at stardom over here in North America.
Yes.
What do you think that was?
I don't know. Perhaps the climate was right. North Americans finally showed the wonderful taste that they've been known for years. And there's always been like a cult following for the Snakes in America. It's like we were probably the greatest unsung heroes. And I think, in essence, it was the record companies and the former people I was associated with, because there was a great deal of negative spheres of influence there. And getting involved with Geffen and with Tawny, with MTV, the radio jumped on the album immediately and brought it to people's attention. It's been a remarkably positive year. Yeah, I mean, if people had heard perhaps Whitesnake many years ago, I don't think the time would have been right. I'm a firm believer in karma and destiny, and the people I was involved with both privately and professionally before this particular album, I don't think it would have been a fun period as it is now.
And it certainly is now. And Gary, thank you for the call. We're going to move on. We have a lot of people that want to speak with David this evening, as you might imagine. The next person we'll talk with is Vicky in Atlanta, listening to 96 Rock. Hi.
Hi.
It's about time. Hello, sweetie.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
This is quite the pleasure, and say hello to Jimmy.
I will indeed.
Okay, David, to the rest of the world, Whitesnake has been a stadium act for years. Well, in Europe, will Whitesnake perform songs like Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City and Keep On Giving Me Love? In other words, if I go to Europe, will I hear the early Whitesnake material performed?
Well, it's very strange because, in essence, a lot of America believes that Whitesnake started with the Slide It In album. And recently, we just restocked stores with a back catalogue for the mildly curious. Anybody who was interested could see how the band has developed over the years. And those albums seem to be doing extraordinarily well also. So perhaps the next time we tour, in '89, I can probably feature a little more diverse material rather than just from Slide It In and the current Whitesnake album. Which would be interesting to do, because working with these musicians now, it could be a really refreshing direction to take.
I have a feeling the guys that are in your band now can play almost anything you put in front of them at this point.
Remarkable. They're all the Paganinis of electrical instruments.
Vicky, thanks for the call. Let's move on now to Oklahoma City. We're going to talk with Kurt. He is listening to Rock 100, The Cat. Kurt, you're on with David Coverdale.
Hello, David.
Hi, Kurt.
How you doing?
Fine, my friend. How are you?
I'm great. Listen,
What can we do for you?
I've seen you 5 times this year on tour, and you really kick ass in concert.
Thank you very much.
And I want to know, what was it like playing the Texas Jam?
Nerve-wracking. But it was a wonderful return to the stage because we didn't do any warm-up shows. And the last time I'd been on a stage was in January '85 at the Rock in Rio Festival in front of like 500,000 people. So to be welcomed with open arms and very much appreciated by 85,000 rock and rollers was a great feeling. It was a wonderful way to launch the band's touring.
Kurt, did you make it down to Texas for that?
I sure did.
Yeah?
That was a dangerous day, Kurt.
People still talk about that date, as a matter of fact. Kurt, thanks for calling. Enjoy the show when they head your way. And let's talk to Marvin now in St. Louis, listening to KC95. Marvin, you're on the Rockline.
Hello, David.
Hi, Marvin.
How are you?
Fine, my friend.
That's good. I'd just like to say my friend Tammy and I are huge Whitesnake fans here in St. Louis, and my question for you tonight is, what do you do to keep your voice in shape? And more specifically, do you do anything to warm up before a show?
Now, steady on. I do minimal workout. I'm usually too nervous before a show to even think of doing anything. I just go on. It's like a virgin birth each time. I've stopped drinking about 6 months ago. I don't do any kind of chemicals or whatsoever. I take what I do very, very seriously. And I'm in the hands of you guys and God, not necessarily in that order.
Marvin, there you are. Did you have another question, Marvin?
Oh, no, I just wondered if he smoked at all.
Oh, I smoke very heavily, yes, without an endorsement or sponsorship. And incidentally, Whitesnake are big fans of Marvin and Tammy, too.
Marvin, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. We were talking about Texas Jam a moment ago. A couple of concerts coming up in Texas quickly by Whitesnake. The 16th of March in Dallas, the 18th in Austin, the 19th in Lubbock, where Tech is located, and the 20th in El Paso. We'll take a time out and come back in just one moment with a Whitesnake treat musically for you, and more with David Coverdale. Your number to call is toll-free from anywhere in North America. There's only one number for the one and only Rockline, 1-800-344-ROCK. Let's go back to the phones. Our next call is Joe from Omaha, listening to Z92. Good evening, Joe.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
Hello, Joe.
Hi, David. My question is, do you enjoy doing your videos?
Are you kidding? Being able to thrust my tongue down in search of Catane's tonsils, yes, I do. Very much so. And I miss doing the same on film for the current video.
Difficult work, but somebody's got to do it, huh, David?
Oh, indeed, indeed. The pleasure was all mine.
Anything else on your mind tonight, Joe?
Yeah, I was wondering how has music changed since it's Deep Purple days?
Well, it's a lot more fun, and creatively, the expression I can stretch much further. With Purple, it was restricting to a certain extent because it was a very sort of heavy metal band. In fact, one of the first of its kind. And your writing I felt that my writing was going in a sort of ever-decreasing circle. With Whitesnake, when I started it, I wanted it to be a vehicle for good rock and roll songs across the board, in every possible style, as long as it was, in essence, blues-based. So, it's a much happier creative situation for me as an artist, without a doubt now.
Joe, thank you for the call, and we'll move on now to talk with Chuck in Riverside, California, listening to 95.5 KLOS. Chuck, you're on with David Coverdale.
How's it going, Dave?
Fine. Is this Prince Charles we're talking to here?
No, Chuck.
Hi, Chuck. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I wanted to first tell you guys kick ass in concert.
Thank you very much. That's very kind.
Well, I wanted to ask you, what made you pick Great White as your opening act?
I'd worked with Great White in the UK and found them to be very good guys, great players and stuff. And when we were sitting down discussing who we would like to open for us, we received the Great White album, Once Bitten, and there was no question. The guys are working great. The audience love them. They're doing a great job, and it's a great package. Great package.
It's a show where you really get your money's worth. That's two quality rock and roll bands on stage in one night. And Chuck, thank you for your call. And Chuck, since you're in Riverside, California, let me pass on the Southern California dates for you. On the 7th of April at the Forum in Los Angeles, the 9th and 10th at Irvine Meadows, the 12th in San Diego, and the 13th in Las Vegas. And we'll round out the other concert dates that we have in just a few moments. Right now we talk to Terry in Utica, New York. She is listening to WOUR 96.9 in Utica, Rome. Terry, you're on with David.
Hi, David.
Hello, Terry.
How are you?
I'm fine, my sweet. How are you doing?
Fine.
Good.
First of all, I'd like to tell you that I've seen you in Utica, and I love you, and I love your music very, very much.
We love you too, Terry. Thank you very much indeed. That's very kind of you.
Thank you. I'd like to know if you ever think about doing a solo with a female vocalist.
That's very strange. I have a song in the works called Too Many Tears, which I think may be a little too soft for the Snakes. And there's been talk maybe with Nancy Wilson, the blonde buxom wench from Heart, or even Cher, who knows. I mean, I'm open for anything as long as I have Tawny's blessing.
You may have hit on something there, Terry, and thank you for the call.
Thank you, sweetie.
I want to remind our listeners that David is in Nashville right now with the folks at 103 KDF, and I'm located in our Hollywood Rockline studio. Our next caller is in Rahway, New Jersey. It's Ken listening to 92.3 K-Rock in New York. Hi, Ken.
Hi, Bob and David. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be back.
I'm somewhat of a musical explorationalist. I've always tried to find the older things by artists like you who become popular suddenly, in situations where I've known Whitesnake, the name, but not necessarily the music. And we kind of touched on this a little earlier. You didn't even, have you ever even snuck in on this tour a couple of the older things from like the Ready and Willing album or even before that?
No, but we may be re-recording a song called Fool for Your Loving, which was on the Ready and Willing album that you're talking about, and possibly a song called Ain't Gonna Cry No More. We're also talking about re-recording a Vandenberg song called Burning Heart. I don't know whether you remember that. I think that was 83. And revisiting them, blow the dust off them, and do them up for the 80s.
That's a couple of nice songs to be working on. The Vandenberg song was just an absolutely great tune. And, of course, the tune that Ken referred to from Ready and Willing, Fool for Your Lovin', was a moderate hit in the States already one time around.
I like your choice of word, Bob. Yes, it was quite a moderate hit, yes. It barely scraped into the 40s.
Let's slide it in with Whitesnake on Rockline. It's Bill from San Francisco. He is listening to 97.3 The Rocker. Bill, you're on the Rockline.
Hey, Dave, what's up?
But everything. How are you doing, Bill?
Fine. My question was, how do you feel about all your LP songs being heavily remixed on the single releases?
Well, usually I encourage that just to give you a bit of a different things. For instance, on the new single, Give Me All Your Love, the guitar features Vivian Campbell with some scorching guitar solo. So it means it just makes it a little bit different for you,
There you go, Bill. Thank you for your call, and call us again sometime. Let's head to Southern California, to Sherman Oaks. Let's talk with Cheryl, a listener at 95.5 KLOS. Cheryl, you're on with David Coverdale.
Hello, David. How are you?
Hello. Fine. We're almost neighbors, Cheryl.
Oh, that's great. My question is, lately I have been reading and hearing a lot from the critics how they say that Whitesnake is basically just a Led Zeppelin clone, and I was wondering how you feel about that.
I think it's extraordinarily narrow-minded, but everybody has an opinion. And the easiest people to attack are people who are, number one, on a platform which raises them above everything else. And they're on that platform to be applauded or criticized. The most important thing for you to know, my love, is that I don't make records for critics. I write songs and sing songs for you people. That's the most important thing. And you're the people who've determined the success ratio of Whitesnake from beginning to end. That is the sole purpose of my wanting to make records.
Well, it turns out one of your critics has been a gentleman named Robert Plant. Do you have any comments on some things that he said in a magazine interview?
I don't wish to wash dirty laundry without a shadow of a doubt. I'm very, very disappointed, number one, that Robert is, for some reason, has got onto a strange tangent of saying that we don't even know each other. We've been friends for many years, and I've shown him and his family great hospitality at many of the Whitesnake shows in Europe. I don't understand for 1 second why he's pursuing this course, and I think point number two, I think he's insulting the mentalities and the pleasure aspect of, 8 million people who enjoy the music. And I'm just very disappointed. My respect for him as an artist is the same, but it's very difficult for me to understand why he's doing this. And I really would, like to leave it at that. I must confess, it hurts a little, but life goes on, and it's the kids I make the music for. It's quite simple.
Very well put, and I wanted to give you a forum to respond to that, and let's move on. Thank you, Cheryl, for your call. We're going to talk to Edward now in Orlando, Florida, listening to WDIZ. Hi there.
How you doing? First of all, I'd like to say I saw you last month in Orlando, and you put on a fantastic show. It was
was really great. We're looking forward to seeing you again. Is there any chance for a second live LP?
We were talking about it because the live show seems to be getting progressively better, and one of the most important things what we're going to do is mic the audience completely. So there's everybody's going to be a mutually shared album because we're encouraging the audience very much to join in the singing of the songs. So it's a mutual exchange all around. I want you guys to be as exhausted when the show's over as the musicians are. And the idea has been discussed about a potential live album, but I really don't want to stick Whitesnake down people's throats. I want to really concentrate on a powerful follow-up album to the current Whitesnake album. And the way the songs are going now, it's very strong. Usually you'll find a lot of artists will put a live album out because they're having a lyrical or musical block. Which at this moment in time, thank God, is not occurring. But one day we'll be having Whitesnake the movie with a soundtrack. I have no doubts.
Edward, thanks for the call. Let's move on now. We're getting some good calls tonight, and I thank our listeners for that. We're going to talk to Ed now in Killeen, Texas. He's listening to KOBJ FM 94 in Austin. And Ed, you're on the Rockline.
Hey, Dave.
Yo.
Hey, great, dude.
Yo, dude. I'm just learning all of these American things. Yo, dude, too.
We got a lot of wild people who love Whitesnake over here, man, at the dorm, man. It's great. But,
Thank you very much.
But we wanted to know about this Van Halen Monsters of Rock, if you were invited in this tour or something. We're really interested about it.
Well, the only disappointment, I must tell you, was with the first course, the launching of the Whitesnake was the Texas Jam, as we just discussed earlier, and I would have loved to have gone out on June the 20th this year, like the first year's anniversary, with headlining the situation. But the areas that the Monsters of Rock are going to, we've played several times along with Motley and under our own banner. So, I really want Whitesnake to be an event when you guys come out, and not just, shall we go and see them or what? I'd really like to make an event. And I think that I'm disappointed that I won't be doing these stadiums this year, but next year we'll have some fun with you.
Ed, thanks for the call. The final concert dates that I have not announced are on the 3rd of April, Denver, on the 5th, Tucson, and the 6th, Phoenix. We'll take a brief time out. We'll return in just one moment. The first song that I heard that really broke this album open was Still of the Night. That's coming up next. Your number to call is toll-free from anywhere in North America to speak with David Coverdale on Rockline. It's 1-800-344-ROCK. We're talking rock and roll on the Global Satellite Network. David Coverdale, my guest on Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. Our next caller is Mike from San Francisco, listening to 97.3 The Rocker. Mike, you're on the Rockline.
Hi, David.
Hello, Michael.
Me and my friend Rick want to congratulate you on your success.
That's very sweet. Thank you very much.
And I want to know, how did you cope with your vocal problems during the recording of the Whitesnake LP?
Oh, I don't know whether coping is the right word. It was probably the biggest nightmare of my life. I had no idea what was going to be going on. It was a very dark period of my life. And I was in the hands of God and Dr. Edward Cantor, who performed the surgery, and will be eternally in his debt. It was a very bad time. I had no feeling to sit back and go, well, if I can't sing anymore or perform, at least I'll be able to write or continue in some kind of situation within the music business. But it was a dreadful, dreadful time. I was delighted to see 1986 go.
There you go, Mike. Thank you for your call, and you call us again sometime. We're going to move on now to New Jersey, to Old Bridge, and talk with Gail, a listener of 92.3 K-Rock in New York City. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, Gail.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
I'm fine, my sweet. Thank you.
I saw you in concert when you were up here, and I just want to say you guys are great.
Thank you very much. You've not bad yourself.
I was wondering, what's your favorite song to perform live, and why?
What's my favorite song to perform live, and why? I don't know. I'll tell you something that I was quite reluctant to do in concert was the song Is This Love, because it was the first time I was going to be doing like a total ballad in a rock and roll context. And I was really fighting not to do it and avoiding it, and it's worked out very, very beautifully. So that's a lot of fun. I like the bluesy, quieter stuff, where the dynamics, where it starts off quiet and then kicks in with rock. Stuff like Here We Go Again, Love Ain't No Stranger. But we were having a lot of fun with you guys, a great deal of fun. So it's positive from beginning to end. I'm enjoying it from the start.
Well, nothing beats that. And Gail, thanks for the call. And call us again sometime, please. We're going to talk to Nate now in Minocqua, Wisconsin, listening to FM 95 in Wausau. Nate, you're on the Rockline.
Hello?
Hello, Nate.
How you doing?
Fine, my friend.
I have a question. I was wondering,
how did you come to meet Tommy Aldridge, and why did you pick him for your band?
Well, he's the best rock and roll drummer in the world. I approached both Tommy and Rudy in 1985 to actually participate in this album, but they were involved with a project called Driver. However, it's my total pleasure to be working with them now. I was told about Tommy Aldridge many years ago by my agent in Europe when he was still with a group called the Pat Travers Band, and we didn't connect till a lot later. And I had Ozzy Osbourne opening for me in Europe, and that's when I first met Tommy and saw what a phenomenal performer and musician he was, or is, excuse me. And it was in the back of my mind all the time to eventually grab him.
Nate, are you a big Tommy Aldridge fan?
Yes, I love Whitesnake and I love Tommy Aldridge. I've listened to him ever since, like, he was in Ozzy. And then when he went into Whitesnake, I was like, oh, it was really great.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, Nate, are turning around and saying this is the dream lineup. And I mean, for me also, I'm delighted to be associated. It's a cool band.
It is quite a band. And Nate, thank you for the call. Let's talk to Tony now in Lexington, Kentucky, listening to 98 Rock Double Q. Tony, you're on with David Coverdale.
Yeah, how you doing, David?
I'm fine. How you doing, Tony?
All right, I just want to know how well the band is getting along on stage as well as off stage, and if they're getting along well enough to keep on doing albums and tours and stuff.
I think we've got over a lot of that, Tony, but the situation is that we've been working together in a very close environment now for, I think, about 9 months, and everybody's getting on famously, privately and professionally. They're a very secure bunch of people, and there's no nonsense. You know, if there are any problems, everybody brings them to the table and we sort them out. And God willing, we'll keep this together. It's too good. We're having too much fun.
Too much fun to stop now. So,
yeah.
So don't. Tony, thanks for the call, and you call us again sometime. It's Kim's turn in Amherst, Nova Scotia, listening to Rock 103, CJMO in Moncton, New Brunswick, one of our new affiliates on the Rock Line. Kim, you're on the show.
He was on the show.
Kim, are you there? It's a she.
Yes, I'm here. Oh, my God.
Oh, hello, sweetie.
Oh, this is great. Okay, I was just wondering if Rock in Rio is going to be on video or album.
I don't know about that. It was done, I think, with Brazilian television. I think the only artist who utilized any of the footage was a group called Queen. I don't know whether, if we ever put some kind of documentary footage together, maybe something like that, but I don't think we'd be considering featuring it as a long-form video.
Now, David, there may be people listening that don't know what we're talking about. This was the giant festival in Rio de Janeiro, what, about 3 years ago, something like that?
Yeah, it was the biggest festival, I think, that's ever been staged. It was a 10-day event featuring all cross-sections of the musical community. And there was rock and roll was represented by the Snakes, Queen, AC/DC, Ozzy Osbourne, Iron Maiden. It was a mega event, and we pulled it off. It was incredible. And 500,000 people, and not to be sneezed at, let me tell you.
Ooh,
those people went crazy. And one of the things that I would love to bring to people's attention is just like the backstage camera, which picked up an ocean of people. It was a phenomenal event.
Amazing. Was this in conjunction with Carnival at all?
Thank God, no. It was lunacy from the beginning to the end.
It almost sounds like that would be too much.
It was remarkable how the organization, because Latin temperament can be somewhat confusing, as we all know. However, it was very professionally organized and very well run and very successful. And I think the only reason it has, because I think the original intention was to make it an annual event. Unfortunately, the politics down there haven't been overly conducive to keeping it going. However, if they do it again, I'd be delighted to work with Roberto Medina, the promoter. He was a consummate professional, and it was a good association.
Kim, thank you for your call. Nice to hear from one of our new affiliates on the Rock Line. We'll take a time out. We'll come back with more music by Whitesnake. Nice. Love Ain't No Stranger from Slide It In by Whitesnake on the Global Satellite Network. You're listening to Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. We're with David Coverdale. Our next caller is Todd from Detroit, listening to WRIF. Hi, Todd.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello, Todd.
How you doing, Dave?
How's that crazy town of yours?
Oh, it's great. I love doing concerts. You guys are excellent.
Thank you very much. It was a blessing for us to go there and be in your company.
Okay.
The hospitality was great.
I just wonder, what's the reaction in Britain to your popularity in the United States?
In terms of the audience, there's no problem. They're delighted. However, the press in the UK has always been one to butcher any kind of success. And particularly Whitesnake will never go away. And now we've nailed it in terms of a global situation. The press hate it. However, the audience is great. We just cleaned up in the polls over there in terms of best band, best live shows, and best guitarists and stuff. It was, it's nice to know. As I say, you are the people who mean the whole package to us. That's it. It's quite simple.
I'm obviously removed from the situation, but it seems the British press is happiest when people labor in obscurity.
The winner is always the loser in that mentality. It's very, very strange. Instead of, like in America, even the BS is positive. You know, people's like they love to see you get on. Whereas in the UK, there's this kind of reluctance to say, "Hey, well done." It's a very bad negative mentality.
Todd, thanks for the call. Let's move on now. So many people want to talk with David, including Dave, who is in Durham, North Carolina, listening to WRDU 106 in Raleigh. Hi there, Dave.
Hi, David. I wanted to ask you, what music do you listen to in your spare time?
Today, what did I listen to? I listened to a bit of the new Toto album. So I listened to some classical music, which helps me relax. I listened to a bit of Kingdom Come, which I thoroughly enjoy. And I think they're a fine new band. What else did I listen to? A bit of blues in the daytime.
Sounds good to me. Dave, thanks for the call. Let's move on and talk with Kim in Decatur, Illinois. 100.5 FM WYMG in Springfield is our affiliate. And Kim, I'd like you to meet David Coverdale.
Hello, David.
Hello, Kim.
You're one of my favorite groups.
One of?
Kind of listen to. And I'd like to know, where did you get the inspiration for Is This Love?
You watch her on the videos if you have MTV. And the answer is a resounding yes.
And her name might be Tawny, is that correct?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Is This Love, Whitesnake, Rockline. That song is just right. What a beautiful piece of music. Is This Love by Whitesnake on Rockline.
You're just an incurable romantic, Bob.
Uh-oh, busted. Let's take a call from Austin, Texas. Her name is Martha. She's listening to KLBJ FM 94. Martha, you're on the show.
Hi there.
Hello, Martha.
Hello, David.
What a sweet name.
I'm just doing great. How are you doing tonight?
Very well, thank you, my dear.
Well, I'm really impressed with the soulfulness that comes through tonight, and I've always liked your sort of soaring vocals more than, I'm a little bit of an older rocker, and I like that more than the hard rock.
Uh-huh.
And I was wondering if I go to your concert next week. You're going to be in Austin, I know. And I was wondering what kind of music I can expect.
I think you're going to have quite a bit of fun. The audience, we're getting a cross-section of like 13-year-olds to 40-year-olds, and everybody's having a ball. There's a mutual exchange between the audience and the band, and there's no sort of emotional separation whatsoever. It's a very nice musical exchange. All I can do is tell you the feeling that I get, and it's a very, very positive and a smile on the event. I think you'll have fun.
And please tell me, David, there's nothing gimmicky on stage. You're concentrating on good sound and a good light system and the music.
Yeah, it's a very. We're trying to set a standard here for musicality. We have a perfect lighting director, great house engineer. We work on with the best PA that's available. The show is a human show. It's a very physical presentation, and we like Rudy Sarzo too much to blow him up.
Martha, thanks for the call. I'm sure you'll enjoy the show if you go. Let's talk to Jimmy in Southern California from Tarzana, California, a listener of 95.5 KLOS. Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, David.
Hello, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate you on your tours and everything. It's wonderful.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to ask you how you deal with diet and what kind of exercise you do to maintain your physique.
I think an hour 45 a night, probably. I try to just take it easy. As I said earlier, I'm not drinking anymore. I drink iced water. Sorry, I have to fess up. I have a ball with you people, and it's not necessary. Before, I'd be drinking quite a substantial amount, which is ultimately damaging on your whole system, let alone your throat. I work out minimally and take every possible advantage to grab Tawny, really. The sum total of the David Coverdale video workout program.
And like you say, an hour 45 a night's a pretty good workout right there, isn't it?
That's just the show.
Yeah, that's just the show, yeah. Jimmy, thanks for the call. Once again, welcome back to Rockline. It's an evening with David Coverdale. I'm Bob Coburn. Back to the phones we go. A call from Johnstown, New York. Her name is Ruth Ann. She's listening to Pix 106 in Albany, and we welcome her to the Rockline. Hi.
Hi.
Hello, Ruth Ann.
Hi, David. How are you?
I'm fine, my sweet.
I was wondering if you're going to be releasing any more singles off the Whitesnake album.
The Whitesnake album? Well, the answer is no. I mean, I went along, in essence, with the record company for this current thing. I thought that I really don't want to stick Whitesnake down people's throats, and I think that this definitely will be the last. Definitely.
Ruth Ann, thank you for your call. We're about to run out of time, so we're going to move on and speak with Deanna in Hickory, North Carolina, listening to 95.7 The Rock out of Charlotte, Hickory. And Deanna, you're on with David.
Hi, David.
Hello, Deanna.
How are you?
I'm fine, my sweet. How are you doing?
Fine. I'd like to congratulate you on the job well done in Charlotte last week.
Thank you.
It was a great show. Do you have any idea who will produce the next Whitesnake album?
We're talking at the moment. I think you can more or less guarantee that it's going to be Keith Olsen. It was a pleasure to work with him, and he's a very musical producer. But I will be asking the band's opinion on what they feel. My feeling is very pro Keith Olsen.
He certainly gets a good sound, doesn't he?
Well, he's wonderful for a vocalist to work with, and he's got a great ear for mixing. And I worked very. It's the only time, to be honest, that the actual Whitesnake album was it just went according to schedule. It was the only time. Very professional.
Deanna, thanks for the call. Glad you enjoyed the show. Let's talk to Troy in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, listening to 103 KDF in Nashville, which is where David has been located. Troy, I got a question for you. You must be listening on cable, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Hi, Troy.
Hi, David. I want to know why your European album, current album, has different songs than the American album.
The situation was that Here I Go Again and Crying in the Rain I wrote the songs 7 years ago, and they were featured on a contractual obligation album called Saints and Sinners. It was never ever released in America. I think recently it's been reissued, but it was never released originally. And I worked very close with a guy called John David Kolodner at Geffen Records, who happens to love those two pieces of music. Now, originally, I was very, very disappointed with the versions that we had on record, and I didn't think it was such a bad thing to reintroduce the songs, because the songs have obviously been very, very successful for us. The situation was a different album in the UK. It was, in essence, going to be a different album for the rest of the world, other than America, and featured two songs, one we heard earlier, Looking for Love, and a song called You're Gonna Break My Heart Again. However, all of the Europeans in the Far East felt that they wanted very strongly to go with the running order that we featured on the American album. So there you go.
And there you have it, Troy, direct from the source. I want to thank you for calling, and thanks to everyone for listening and calling this evening. Here's how to write Rockline. Just mail your card or letter to P.O. Box 4383, Hollywood, California, 90078. Next week, it's Peter Buck and Mike Mills of REM, and then coming soon, 3, the new band featuring Keith Emerson, Carl Palmer, and Robert Berry. Also an evening with David Lee Roth is in store, as well as an evening with Robert Plant, as only Rockline gives you the chance to interview the hottest stars in rock and roll live and nationwide in the U.S. and Canada. Special thanks tonight to Dale Moore, to Carrie Kopp, to Dewey Bruce at Emerald Studios, and also to Kid Red, Jimmy Summers, and Shannon, and everybody at 103 KDF in Nashville. Thanks for your hospitality and taking care of our friend David Coverdale. And David, thanks for being here again. And I just can't say enough how much I really am happy for you for your success and really finally breaking it open here in North America.
Thank you very much, Bob. It's been a pleasure to be in your company, and thank you, America, for remarkable hospitality.
I'll look forward to seeing you in concert here in Southern California, David. I'm BC, and I'll be seeing you in a week.